There we go. So let's get this off. Starting with coming from Politico, top HHS spokesperson quits after clashing with RFK Jr. Mm, color me shocked. Oh, I am so shocked. Thomas Corey resigned over disagreements with the HHS secretary and his approach to the measles outbreak. Now, before getting into this article, in full disclosure, I do have it posted. RFK has now put out a call to action, and he's encouraging parents to now vaccinate their children against the measles due to the outbreak. When I say some people are firmly prophets over people, I mean it because they know, specifically RFK Jr., that vaccinations are necessary and helpful because his entire family is vaccinated, but his nonprofit, they make money off of that. Hey, darling. Top spokesperson The top spokesperson at the Health and Human Services Department has abruptly quit after clashing with Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his close aides over their management of the agency amid a growing measles outbreak. Two people familiar with the matter told Politico. Thomas Corey announced on Monday that he had resigned effective immediately just 2 weeks after joining the department as its Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. I.e., he ain't gonna lie. I want to announce to my friends and colleagues that last Friday, I announced my resignation effective immediately, he wrote in a post to his LinkedIn page. To my colleagues at HHS, I wish you the best and great success. Can we, you know what? It's quicker than a press conference than making announcements on social media, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. The sudden departure was prompted by growing disagreement with Kennedy and his principal deputy chief of staff, Stephanie Spear, over their management of the health department, and the two people who were granted anonymity to speak candidly. Corey had also grown uneasy with Kennedy's muted response to the intensifying outbreak of measles in Texas, the people said. The outbreak has infected at least 146 people and resulted in the nation's first death from the disease in decades. And before people come with the same bullshit that they did during COVID and everything else, saying, oh, it's not that big of a deal. The measles is a highly debilitating respiratory disease. It changes you from the inside out, literally. It is no fun. 1 out of 4 individuals who contract measles will be hospitalized. Keep in mind, COVID is still rampant. The flu is still out here. And we have the bird flu that's transferring from animal to animal and now to people. For folks that are concerned about the replacement theory, you're going to replace yourself. You keep fooling around and backing people who don't want things for the common good and miss me with that. Well, what happened to my body, my choice? Having an abortion affects that person who's having the abortion and plausibly their mate. You contracting measles and spreading it around, hence spreading it around, affects society as a whole. Pregnancy ain't contagious. I know for years we've joked about it because you'll see a cluster of friends or a cluster of family members who all get pregnant at the same time, but it's not, okay? If I sneeze on you, a baby will not instantly pop into your belly. I promise you, okay? If you rub up against a pregnant person, you will not instantly become pregnant, or in 2 weeks, you won't be putting together a birth plan. I promise you. And here's the thing. Choice is individual. And if you choose not to vaccinate, and you choose not to vaccinate your child, go find a little plot of land where y'all can just live by yourselves and don't be around the rest of us. A longtime vaccine skeptic, Kennedy, during a cabinet meeting last week, said measles outbreaks are not unusual. However, measles was declared eliminated in the U.S. in 2000, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Kennedy has since emphasized that HHS is aiding Texas health officials with their measles response, but declined so far to explicitly call for people to get vaccinated. Like I said, until just a few hours ago, I have it posted. And see, the thing of it is, there are a lot of people in this country that actually around the globe, but we're going to focus on the United States, that are conditioned to believe that people in power, especially elected officials, are qualified for their jobs, that they're experts in their fields and should be listened to. And for a very long time, that was true. That is not true now. And I am a longtime skeptic of every elected official. Okay, I got smoke and criticism for all of them. All of them. And I always say question. But when it comes to things that affect health, look it up, research it, contact your PCP. If you don't have a PCP, there are clinics. Ask pharmacists. Pharmacists are a great source of information. I don't know why y'all you know what? I do know why people got away from or never got in the habit of talking to pharmacists. I grew up where my family was friends with our local pharmacists. Right when I legally became an adult, that pharmacist, Mr. Poppy, shout out to the Poppy family, got consumed by CVS. And when things started to be mass marketed, there wasn't a lot of time to sit down and talk to a pharmacist. But take a little time, schedule yourself a little bit of time, wait for a minute, and talk to your pharmacist about preventative measures, what vaccines you should get, what schedule you're on. They have the time, and it doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. What? There are other people that live on the block, sir. Lord have mercy. The boomers at it again. Do that. There are free clinics. Some places still have nurses hotlines. Utilize them. But do not sit here and explicitly believe a man who caused an outbreak in Samoa that decimated their child population, who's had brain worms, who drove around with a deceased bear, who's taken literal bites out of animals. Like, come on. He sounds like there is a perpetual gerbil biting on his vocal cords. Like some of y'all never had a weird neighbor down the block that you needed to avoid, and it shows. And I know it's weird for me saying stranger danger. Okay? Because I don't really meet strangers. If you understand that, you understand that. I'm not explaining it no more. I know that sounds weird coming from me, but so oh, good grief. And the non-president president of the United States has this epiphany. Coming from the Washington Examiner, Musk calls for U.S. to withdraw from NATO. Let me repeat that. Musk calls for the U.S. to withdraw from NATO. This man gives me a headache every day, every day, every day. And in case you missed it, yes, he welcomed child number 14 into the world. While one of the 3 children he has with a celebrity, please excuse me, I'm not the best at keeping up with who's a celebrity and what their names are. It's no disrespect to what people do for a living. That I have a hard time remembering. It's a whole lot of them. One of their children is going through a medical emergency that he's not paying attention to, and he ain't even having the satisfaction of swapping undercarriage juices to produce these kids. But yeah, the child number 14. And please, for the love of all things holy, stop saying that he is the white Nick Cannon. Absolutely not. You don't have to bring black folks into every conversation. Nick Cannon got a slew of kids, but Nick Cannon takes care of all them kids. He goes and visits all them kids. He around all them kids, and he doesn't swap undercarriage juices to produce the kids. They are not the same. Okay. Elon is just out here like, you know what? You tell me about the replacement theory. Don't worry, I will populate the white community myself. Elon Musk called for the United States to withdraw from NATO and the United Nations. Withdrawing from these things does not mean that you no longer have to follow certain rules. It does not mean that diplomacy is out the window. It does not mean that you can run rampant like you got Black Air Force One energy. Like, let's just be clear. Think of it as, I don't know if they still call around. I'm on a do not call list for all of them because of how I've answered the phone in the past. So I don't blame them for not calling me no more. But when police unions call around, if you don't donate to the police union, it doesn't mean that you don't have to abide by the laws. If you don't donate to a political campaign, it doesn't mean that you don't have to abide by the laws. If you decide not to, register as Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, it doesn't mean that when legislation's passed, you're not under the law. You catch what I'm putting down? His statement came amid a flurry of posts on X criticizing Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Ukraine after Friday's contentious meeting with Zelensky, President Donald Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance, which has thrown the U.S.-Ukraine relationship into turmoil. The Tesla CEO's comments reflect his growing disillusionment with Kiev, despite playing a critical role in the country's defense. That's the part. Elon Musk is playing all sides of the fence. He thinks that he is the Temu version of Lex Luthor, and he wants minimal regulation or no regulation regarding his companies, and he wants a monopoly in every country on it. And he just wants the globe to be white. He really does. He wants the globe to be white. And he'll make money from any and everybody. He will perpetuate elongated wars because who's winning? Who is really winning in all these wars that are popping up? Because every time a war breaks out, some way, somehow, Elon Musk is attached to it. Under the guise that he's donating this or donating that. He ain't donating shit. And I think Musk was butthurt that he was not invited to this Mean Girls event in the Oval. He should have checked his presidential schedule and been there. I agree, said Musk, quoting on a post on X saying that the US should leave NATO and the UN. The call from one of Trump's closest advisors is likely to trigger further panic among European leaders who have long feared that the president intends to withdraw from the pact. Yeah, because they're afraid that the United States is now going to be the grand poobah of the Axis. And let's not forget, it wasn't like the United States really wanted to be a part of the Allied forces. The United States had to be coerced into standing on the right side of global history. Because all this bullshit that's happening, everybody learned from us over here. Everybody was like, let me hold your beer and add a little something to it. Musk's most recent surge of posts critiquing Ukraine was triggered by Friday's meeting. One of his first reactions was to pledge to have the Department of Government Efficiency look at the U.S.'s aid to Ukraine. Hey, I'm sure you are concerned. Just can I come to Canada? I cook, I clean, I pay bills. I'm a very tidy roommate. I won't touch none of y'all stuff. I'll bring my own stuff, I promise. I don't like it here anymore. I want to crawl out the window of the United States in the middle of the night. I don't want to be on this block anymore. It's dilapidated. It really is. It is. They're not picking. Well, I mean, they picked up the trash and they delivered it to the White House instead of to the dump. That's where we at. I got you, Sabrina. We coming in the middle of the night. We promise we won't break nothing. We won't touch nothing. We won't. Okay. We are polite. Okay. It's unfortunate that we have a rare species of human known as Tangerine tyrantus that is in the White House with Meltius Brainus that likes to hop around in all black. Like he is a discontinued Matrix doll. I don't. Uh, yes. And to my dismay, Trump isn't accepting too much mail to the White House. Maybe he's just not accepting mail from me, which I understand. Yeah, given things that I tend to allegedly send politicians, I wouldn't. It's just a little bit of glitter. Glitter never hurt nobody. But Elon Musk says it's time to find out what really happened to hundreds of billions of dollars sent to Ukraine, he said in the hours after the spat. Now, this talking point has been making the rounds all over social media, and I'm going to tell you this is my new litmus test for the United States. It really is. If you think that in wartime, a leader on either side of the war is making money off of financial aid from other countries, you're fucking stupid. And I have some swampland right in the center of Oklahoma I would like to sell to you. You don't need to see it. You don't need to see it. Just sign on the dotted line because obviously you'll believe any fucking thing. It doesn't have to make sense at all. Um, it is ridiculous. And for those that are like, oh, Trump did a great thing and he stood up, y'all do realize that Russian media was in the room. That was a show specifically for Putin. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. 50% of Trump is owned by Musk, the other 50% is owned by Putin. Trump is not in control. Please stop equating Trump to Hitler. Hitler had his own ideas, his own plans that he was executing. Trump does not. Trump is a dumbass puppet that doesn't realize that he's being used. And I say this because in real life, I met someone that was like that really did a lot of posturing, was very braggadocious, was very boisterous, very in your face, because they would take snippets of what they heard from other people, thought that it was a good idea, didn't really understand, didn't fully pay attention to anything, regurgitated, and everyone around them was taking full advantage of them to better themselves and to gain power and leverage while they thought that they were winning and they were doing nothing but losing. Oh, I wish so many of them could see it from the outside. I continuously tell them that the United States is the Truman Show. It really is the Truman Show. Anybody who has not seen that movie, please watch it and to fully understand what I mean by it. Uh, let's see. Okay. And oh, they drive me crazy. Coming from the Hill, Trump rips McMaster. We should spend less time worrying about Putin. Okay. 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 President Trump slammed H.R. McMaster after his former national security advisor said he is being played by Russian President Vladimir Putin, with Trump adding he believes we should spend less time worrying about Putin. You know what? This is very reminiscent of that friend that you have that is very, very obvious that their partner, their mate, ain't shit and is like on the verge of taking them out. Like, not being facetious, not making fun of anybody's situation. I'm being very serious. And that friend is like, no, you don't need to worry about them. I got this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because Putin Putin seems very dead set on two things regarding Trump, specifically regarding Trump. One, using Trump to get whatever he can globally and from the United States out of it. And two, completely humiliating Trump. I believe that Putin will do everything to leave Trump with the worst reputation in history. I don't know what Trump did to Putin. I don't know what Trump said that rubbed Putin the wrong way, but we are talking Kendrick Lamar level, 50 Cent level petty when it comes to Putin. And I should say 50 Cent level because 50 Cent will be like, hey, come over here. Let me make a show about your life and make millions off of you and then spend the rest of his days being petty and making sure the only thing people remember about you is the worst parts. And I think Putin is whispering into Trump's ear and making sure he fucks all of this up. And even with him fucking it up, it helps Russia because the more dilapidated the US government gets, the easier a takeover is. Just my assessment right now. It may change. H.R. McMaster is a weak and totally ineffective loser, Trump said Sunday on Truth Social. Jesus Christ, the 1800s level of posturing and bullshittery. Like that's what they want to go back to. That's the Make America Great that they want to go back to. And speaking of which, I go into that a little bit more in detail on my blog, Camp Taz, if you want to take a look at that. We should spend less time worrying about Putin and more time worrying about migrant rape gangs, drug lords, murderers, and people from mental institutions entering our country so that we don't end up like Europe, Trump said in a second post. Our crime rate is way higher than Europe, the whole continent of Europe combined. We are one country and we supersede them. Mental health is in the crapper here. Drug use is higher here than over in Europe. So, and the rapists, the drug lords, the murder. Were you looking in the mirror when you wrote this, Trump? Okay, you know what? Trump's posts followed McMaster criticizing the president for his volatile Oval Office conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The two leaders met Friday to discuss a rare earth mineral deal that will lead to the end of the 3-year Russian-Ukraine war. But the meeting ended with Zelensky and Trump in a shouting match. Was it really a shouting match? Let's be honest. Zelensky had great restraint. You ever wanted to see a visual representation of what it means to be marginalized in the United States? That interaction. Zelensky represented the marginalized, Trump represented Trump. And while Trump is talking about what we should be concerned about, coming from Newsweek, Donald Trump to replace Benjamin Franklin on $100 bill under GOP proposal. With all the serious shit going on, all these executive orders with no plans of execution behind them, Trump once again threatening tariffs that would take place plausibly tomorrow. This is what's being proposed. Bilal Rahman, a Republican lawmaker is introducing legislation to immortalize President Donald Trump on $100 bills. How many more things are they trying to put Trump on? Because everything that's been going on, we don't have a budget right now still. So many things are up in the air, and they're trying to push through all of these bills to put fucking Trump's face on everything. This is the new patriotism. It is now Trumpiotism. But they love America. America first. It seems Trump first. Trump first. Congressman Brandon Gill, who represents Texas's, of course it's Texas. Of course it's Texas. Texas, I thought y'all wanted to be your own country. Why are you into so much bullshit for Trump? I thought you wanted to be shouldn't y'all be trying to figure out how to be your own fucking country? Shouldn't you? Should I mean, once everything that belongs to the United States is repossessed, I'm not going to visit there. I mean, but Texas's 26th congressional district said that he plans to introduce a bill to feature Trump's likeness on the $100 note once his current term concludes. Y'all can y'all help Trump build a fucking library? I mean, I don't know what the fuck you would put in the library. Oh, that's right. He said the Mar-a-Lago documents would go into the library. And before you go, Trump, this is his second term. He was president before. They start construction on the library usually after their term. He already has a library. It's a fucking website. Check for yourself. It's a fucking website. And not even a website with some good bells and whistles. Not even a website that's stocked full of nice little nuggets. And no. Like a fifth grader put together a fucking website off of Wix.com. President Trump could be enjoying his golden years, golfing and spending time with his family, Gill told Fox News Digital. Instead, he took a bullet for this country and is now working overtime to secure our border, fix our uneven trade relationship with the rest of the world, make America energy independent again, and put America first by ending useless foreign aid. You are a member of Congress and you don't understand geopolitical politics. Trump cannot be spending time with his family because he has no connection to his family. He believes that that's women's work. His words, not mine. He didn't take a bullet for the country. He took some fragments that freaked him the fuck out, which I'm not saying I don't understand. That's what happened. Hey. The uneven trade relationship is we have been taking advantage of people for eons. But okay. As millions of Americans look to the government to lower food and gas prices, some lawmakers are instead pushing symbolic gestures like redesigning U.S. currency. The proposal to place Trump on the $100 bill reflects ongoing efforts to cement his legacy, but is unlikely to gain bipartisan support. And it's like, what are you cementing? What legacy should be celebrated, should be memorialized? The legacy that should be memorialized. We should have merch of him behind bars. We should be having Trump jail parties. I'm just saying. Just saying. What the hell? Lord have mercy. Okay. Coming from the BaltimoreSun.com, Trump appoints Kelly Hayes as interim U.S. attorney for Maryland. Wonder how much that cost. No, I'm not being facetious. Anybody interested in some 8647 merch? Check the link in my bio. Let's see. Coming from the AP, Trump says 25% tariffs on Mexican and Canadian imports will start Tuesday with no room for delay. Yeah, because our economy is beginning to tank. The Federal Reserve has a forecast out saying that there's a shrinking economy. With the increase in layoffs, there are less people available to spend money. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm not going to do this off the top of my head. Handy dandy notebook. There we go. There's also a drop in consumer spending because fewer people are working. And there's been a plummet in consumer confidence. Completely understandable. Completely understandable. So Donald Trump said Monday that 25% taxes on imports from Mexico and Canada would start Tuesday, sparking renewed fears of a North American trade war that already showed signs of pushing up inflation and hindering growth. I know this sounds familiar as to what happened right after he took office for the second time. This is a whole new thing. Remember, he said he's going to stick a pin in it for 30 days. I guess somebody reminded him that he has a calendar and they read to him what was on the calendar, allegedly. Trump has said the tariffs are to force the two U.S. neighbors to step up their fight against fentanyl trafficking and stop illegal immigration. But Trump has also indicated that he wants to even the trade imbalance with both countries as well as push more factories to relocate to the United States. Now, for those that are like, oh, American made is so great. Yes, and the Commonwealth countries should. Here's the thing. Everything cannot be grown or produced or sourced within the confines of the United States and its borders. It can't be. So even if, say, I have a factory that's currently outside of the United States, if I move the factory here, it still may not help cost. Between paying to have things imported, where before I didn't have to pay to get them imported, depending on where my factory is, the labor, the skill set, are US workers skilled enough to do what I need them to do? What is going to be the curve in getting them up to that level for skill and production? And what are my costs in getting my product out to other countries that I may be making more money from? And where am I going to get the land? How much is the land going to cost me? Are the property taxes worth it? Am I getting any tax breaks? These are things that capitalists are going to consider. We do not have unlimited open land to put factories on. And where you put factories is not beneficial to the land or the people near it. We're going through this topic of discussion right now on the Wednesday and Sunday book series where we're going over the book Savage Inequalities. Let us not forget what Nestle and Coca-Cola did to water supplies. But he's still stuck on tariffs. I heard a political pundit earlier saying that tariff seems to be Trump's third favorite word. Trump has said that tariffs. No, sorry. His comments quickly rattled the U.S. stock market, with the S&P 500 index down 2% in Monday afternoon trading. It's a sign of the political and economic risk that Trump feels compelled to take, given the possibility of higher inflation and the possible demise of a decades-long trade partnership with Mexico and Canada. And we witnessed this before. It is like he is oblivious to what's going on. Thanks, babe. He just doesn't care. Like, he's going to keep forcing this in the hopes that it works out for him. Like, if he bullies people enough that the market will adjust for him and other countries will adjust for him. That's not how it works. Like, Trump, you were a bully. Well, you attempted to be a bully when you were in school. It didn't work then. Nobody was intimidated by you. Let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. Let's look at some Trump history. Okay. When Trump was in school, he literally was trying to bully everybody. Okay. He thought that he was going to dominate the playground. It failed so tremendously that his father had to pull him out of public school and put him in private school. Not because he thought that he was a genius, not because he wanted to cultivate his mind and make sure he had some smart kids. Absolutely not. He didn't want to be embarrassed by his son getting his ass kicked every day. So why Trump keeps holding on to the insanity of him being a bully is beyond me. Well, insanity. There it is. And all these people think, he's such a great businessman. No, he's not. He is a lucky loser. Like, how do you fail at owning a casino? The whole business model is in your favor. That would be like the local lottery failing. How? It's set up to be in your favor. He bankrupted an entire city. Hello, Atlantic City. He's had multiple businesses fail that should have worked out. Like, how do you fail at selling bottled water at the height of the bottled water craze? How do you fail at selling steaks when Omaha steaks exist? How do you fail at selling a board game during the height of all of the variations of Monopoly hitting the market and selling like wildfire everywhere? Like, how do you fail at a magazine where people were buying First of all, people were buying fucking Oprah's bullshit ass magazine, and she only put herself on the cover and basically talked about herself throughout the fucking magazine. And you got all these friends and you're so respected all over the place. Like, businesses whose business model is set for the owner to just be great at it, he failed. And I don't know why you want a business person to run a country like a business. It's not. You cannot look at geopolitics and the military as a business. If you don't quit, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're going to quit or you're going to get smacked the hell out of on camera. You bet. I don't care. I don't care. Stop being a dickwad. You're not the boss of me. This relationship is getting real abusive and I don't appreciate it. I'm going to call them people on you. I think 8 or 9 at this point. There's been so many times he's declared bankruptcy, business wise and personal wise. Like he can't keep money at all. But back to my note, and just like I keep telling y'all, be vocal, be boisterous, because the small subset of the United States that actually backs him, they're just loud. Like when I travel, there's generally 1 to 2 people that annoy the fuck out of me. Okay. And that is generally what I tend to talk about when people are checking on me as I'm traveling, because that's what sticks out. Like this particular time while traveling, there was a woman who took multiple calls and kept answering on speaker. I don't have the best hearing at all. If I can hear you, you're loud. Like I took my hearing aids out and could still hear. But that's what stuck in. So let me reiterate these 2 polls. Now, there was a CNN poll, and I'm not a big poll person, but sometimes you got to use them as examples, okay? Now, this CNN poll was conducted between February 24th and February 28th. They posed the question: Trump policies will move the U.S. in what direction? Okay, that's the question that was polled. Trump policies will move the U.S. in what direction? 45% said the wrong direction. 39% said the right direction. 15% said they were unsure. Oh, you're fine. Feel free to do it anytime. Do not apologize for. And before y'all criticize people that say that they're unsure, there are people who are being honest about the fact that they never really paid attention to politics until now, until Trump. So they are still learning the basis, and the fact that they can admit their ignorance is a good thing. Is a good thing, because we can identify who we can help and who we can educate. And that's what we want. Now, NPR also had a poll, and the NPR poll, the premise was the economy. And they posed the question: does Trump have the right priorities? 40% said yes. I'm sure you can guess who made up the majority of that 40%. 52% said no. Stop feeling defeated before you even get defeated. Because I don't know how y'all keep selling out these movies and quoting these movies where the underdog won, or when people kept fighting for justice until they achieved justice. Because right about now, shouldn't we be Sparta? Y'all always want to talk about the Roman Empire. Shouldn't this be your Roman Empire? I thought y'all said that y'all were the descendants of the witches they couldn't burn. Y'all acting like the descendants of the witches that they drowned. I don't know about you, but I don't like a small amount of people being able to determine what the fuck I can and can't do and deciding that I got to live with this fuck twaddle named Trump. I don't know about you, but I didn't sign up for that shit. I don't want this subscription at all. What the hell? Oh, okay. Notebooks. And what this whole new tariff package plan is supposed to look like, nobody knows. It is said that Trump has been advised by his top advisors, and I'm using this very facetiously because who Trump feels is a top advisor could be a painting on the fucking wall at this point. Okay, it's that ridiculous. Are telling him to utilize narrow tariffs, which other presidents have done. Very narrow, very directed tariffs because they can be more beneficial. And if you're trying to be punitive with them, it gets the point across. Just blanketly putting a tariff on everything, especially after you campaign on saving people money and lowering costs, is ridiculous. Oh, yes, I have hearing aids too. Because my family, especially my brothers, they get mad when we're all together and I'm over it. Like I get overstimulated because they're loud. And I am the smart one. I'll take them out. But then if we're in the middle of an argument and I take them out, my brothers, they're some assholes. They'll cut the lights off so I can't read lips. Yeah. Yeah. That's why my granny learned ASL to the level that she was able to interpret for churches and she taught ASL. Yeah, so she could communicate with me. But there's a lot of people in my life that are just now figuring out that all my life I've had hearing aids. I was like, you thought Granny was talking to me in ASL for what? Shits and giggles? They're like, well, we just thought y'all was having conversations about us. We were, but oh, yeah, and for you climate learn it. Um, I don't have as many people around me now that utilize ASL, so I'm a bit rusty. Um, I still understand it. Signing, I've gotten a lot slower than I used to be. A couple of my granny's friends, I do still see, and depending on where I am, like I have an older brother that has a group, an organization. I gotta stop calling a group called Black Achievers. That is centralized in Ohio. So when I go to do my part, like speaking engagements and networking events, a couple of my granny's friends will come to interpret for me because it can be overwhelming. And I do have a few friends in certain places that will do that as well, especially if there's a lot of background noise because I'm not used to it. Wearing hearing aids, you kind of get used to things being a little quiet. So yeah, that helps. But you climate change deniers that like a good cup of Joe, you might want to stop denying climate change. You might want to tell the government to get it together. It does. Yeah, because I can't see, can't hear, can barely walk. Um, I am. Yeah, yeah. It's probably why so many people think it's easy to try to kidnap me. Now I think about. Yes, I now see why the kids have attached tracking devices to me. If we were cats, yeah, I'm not that far from being a cat. But coming from the AP, as warming climate hammers coffee crops, this rare bean may someday be your brew. Catherine Bashiyama runs her fingers along the branches of a coffee tree she's raised from a seedling, searching anxiously for the first fruit buds since she planted it 3 years ago when she grasped the small cherries, Bashiyami beans. The farmer had never grown coffee in her village in western South Sudan, but now hopes a rare climate resistant species will help pull her family from poverty. Now, there are a lot of crop changes that are going to be on the way, hopefully, given that they are diminishing budgets and cutting staff and eliminating entire departments with this administration. We may be far off on it. For those that are anti USAID, these are some of the things that USAID helps, not just outside of the country, but within inside the United States also. They are working because of climate change to find seeds and crops, etc., that can be resistant to these things and that they can still flourish. I need y'all to stop acting as if what you get out of the grocery store didn't come out the ground, didn't come from animals walking about. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not exactly ready to become extinct like the dinosaurs. But knowing my luck, I would survive and get really bored really quickly. Or take over and create a whole country of snacks. I don't know. It's me, Um did I already do that one? Rubio signed a declaration to expedite the delivery of $4 billion in military aid to Israel. I'm going to let you sit on that after what happened Friday with Zelensky. I'm going to let you sit on that. Let me repeat. Rubio signed a declaration to expedite delivery of $4 billion in military aid to Israel. Elon Musk calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Can we collectively agree to send Elon Musk a dictionary and a tutor? Not me. I don't want to be the actually yeah, I'll be the tutor. They still make metal rulers, right? Specifically the metal rulers that had like the little cork in the back in the middle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It was a little sharp at the top. Allegedly, I'm thinking of the Catholic school method of helping Elon with the rulers. Allegedly. And hold on. I think that's here we go. There was one more. Trying to. Okay, coming from the Daily Beast. Anti-vaxxers rage at RFK Jr. over flip-flop. Remember, I told you at the start of this that he now has a call to action when it comes to measles, and he's saying, go get vaccinated. And please, y'all, please do. The jokes I have regarding this, they're coping jokes, because I am terrified to get the measles again. I've had the measles and I've had the German measles, and it did not work out well for me. Okay, and I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it at all, and I have the immune system of a sickly 12-year-old. So yeah, please get it together. Okay, it's a little shot. Just come on, go get a booster. Okay, go get a booster. Do not cause me to have to allegedly boost you to the moon. Okay. Many in the anti-vax community turned on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Monday after President Donald Trump's health secretary penned a column endorsing the vaccination of children against measles. If y'all are a whole community, can y'all do like the pedophiles did in Florida and just go get a city and all of y'all go live there? And no, I'm not exaggerating. There's a pedophile city in Florida. Now they're the only ones that can live in the city. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I would say this: consult with your medical professional. Like I was telling people earlier, or consult with a pharmacist because everybody doesn't have a PCP regarding how long it's been since you've had a booster. Your trying to remember the checklist that my pharmacist told me. How long it's been since you've had a booster? The probability of your exposure to anyone who would be exposed to measles, and any current health issues that you have that may make you more susceptible should you come in contact with somebody who has the measles. I hope I said that right. I hope I did. Now, for me personally, I'll just say yes, please go get a booster. But I also have to take into consideration different people deal with the vaccines differently, and everybody's medical records are different. So yes. Now, me, I kind of have to break mine up. I know that like some people can do like the flu shot and the COVID shot all at once. I cannot. I have to get one. We have to wait and then get another one. And in that in between time, I kind of have to quarantine at home, which is fine for me because let's face it, I don't really like the outside that much. I don't. We can visit. We can hang out. We're going to hang out inside. I'm an inside girly. Unless you want to go to the zoo. I will hang out outside with you at the zoo. I like the animals, especially a giraffe. And yes, I'm pretty sure, Courtney, I would get kidnapped by a giraffe willingly, or a seal. Probably a seal. More likely. Oh, I was loving the 6-foot rule too. I still abide by the 6-foot rule. And I got a cane. I will. At least one conservative influencer, Linda Catalina, oh, this bitch, asserted Kennedy was no different than former Joe Biden health advisor Anthony Fauci or anyone else from the old regime. Old regime? Do y'all know what these words mean? Do I need to go back to doing a vocabulary word a day? Like, should I take it back to like grammar school, like primary school? So, like, should we start having vocabulary tests every Friday? Should we do that? Well, I got a sparkly pink cane. I thought about bedazzling it, but it's a collapsible cane, and I don't know how to not have the bedazzles fall off when I do that. Yeah. RFK Jr. is already proving to be a fraud, Catalina wrote to her 35,000 X followers, including a screenshot of Kennedy's column that was published by Fox News Digital with the headline, Measles Outbreak is Call to Action for All of Us. Once again, can y'all just get a city and just all live there together, all unvaccinated and all together? And before y'all go, but herd immunity, you do realize the percentage of people that need to be vaccinated in order for herd immunity to be a thing. We have been surviving on herd immunity up until this point, but the percentages are skewed. You're gonna be herd dead. Okay, that's what you're gonna be herded into, death. The upper room, the bosom of your ancestors. Okay, Mima's casket neighbor. That's what you're gonna be. You will definitely be the corpse bride. Y'all really just be out here fighting for somebody to take me to the king. Like, why are you out here taking your mental health medications if you want to slow that? Like, y'all want to choose the slowest, most heinous ways to die. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, the COVID didn't teach y'all, like, y'all literally watch mama, papa, your husband, your wife, your best friend, your kids, your neighbors die slowly and painful. Like, is it a kink? Is it a kink? Do y'all enjoy watching people struggle to breathe? I mean, being choked a little bit while you swapping undercarriage juices is one thing, but literally, like, no, no. It comes as Tom Corey, who served as Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs at Health and Human Services, announced on Friday that he was resigning. I want to announce to my friends and colleagues that last Friday I announced my resignation effective immediately. To my colleagues at HHS, can you even call them colleagues? You was there for 2 weeks. Like, did they learn your first name, let alone your last name? Did they know where your office was? Did they even know what you did? Because I know in that 2 week period, I don't know you. I don't even want you to. I'm still trying to debate on whether or not to spray you down with Lysol. So, like, are they really gonna miss you? Like, so now who's gonna tell us the truth about what's going on at HHS? Like, I understand the moral resignations. I do, but y'all do know you can't be a whistleblower from the outside. You can't fix the leak in the club from outside the club. Now in the club, we don't all got to be fam, but somebody got to be in the club to snitch. And this is one of those cases where snitches ain't gonna get stitches. But without a snitch, we all gonna be stitched. Okay? Okay. All right. Right. An associate at best. Like, my colleagues. I wish you the best and great success, he wrote. How the fuck they gonna have great success with Captain Brainworm in charge? And I don't know how his wife is sticking beside it. I guess she always wanted to be because she did she change her name? Did she legally become a Kennedy? They're like, I don't know. Like, how you sticking beside it? Like you looked at him and was like, yeah, that was the one. And then all these affairs he done had, like, how you hanging RFK? Because I don't understand. And you're not even paying motherfuckers out. Like, I don't. What is the benefit? What is the benefit? No reason was given for Corey's abrupt departure. Yeah, it was. Yeah, what they was beefing over how he was handling the measles outbreak. Now he's doing the right thing about the measles outbreak after Corey done lost his job. Could you imagine the argument that's going on in the Corey household right now? Like, motherfucker, you couldn't wait the weekend? You couldn't sleep on it over the weekend? Like, you got pissed at him because he wasn't doing the right thing because of measles. And then, woohoo, you wake up Monday morning and he doing the right thing over the measles. Like, I mean, as a crash out myself, I get it. But sometimes you got to, before you crash out, okay? You got to do that. You all up here making a grand gesture of you walking away, and trust me, Court, I've been there. I've been there where I don't wanted somebody to do the right thing. We don't argue back and forth. But see, your problem is you only argued once. You only gave it one good argument. Okay? As a good crash out, you got to give it three. You got to give it three arguments. Okay? If you ain't got to the point where you done called them some despicable things, you ain't went hard enough. Okay? After you go to the point of no return in the argument, that's when you resign. Okay? You don't resign at the first argument, broski. That's not where you resign at. That's not where you resign at. Like, think about Tom Corey is sitting at home right now, like, RFK, you motherfucker. First of all, RFK is a Kennedy. What are they going to preserve above any and everything? All of them have said some crazy shit over the years. All of them have done some crazy shit over the years. And we might talk about it from time to time, but for the most part, they're going to preserve that fucking legacy. They're going to make sure they control how the history books chronicle them. And they consistently make sure that the Kennedy name is on the right side of history. Even with Ted. Even with Ted. So I don't know what the fuck you resigned for. Court. Boy, the tent was a couple handfuls, a basket full, a cart full, a trunk full, a sub basement, and a basement full. Lord Jesus. Yeah, it's always the name. Just like the Romney family. They're only gonna go so far. And then as you see, they're like, pull it in. Cheney family. They're like, yeah, troll, you went too far, Trump. You went too far. Hold up, hold up. We got to think about the history books now. We got to think about they're only going to go so far, and then they're going to rein it in. So if you're a part of those administrations, if you're a part of their sphere, chill out before you make drastic moves. They're going to preserve the name. They're no different than a good Southern mom or a good Southern grandma. The family could be imploding. That woman gonna shine y'all up, dress y'all up real good. Because ain't nobody in the county gonna be able to talk down on the legacy. Y'all might argue, fuss, and fight, black everybody eye in Meemaw's living room. But in the streets, it ain't about to happen. It ain't about to happen. It's a freaking lootly not. But that is today's recap. Thank you for joining me. As always, there are additional resources on my Substack and all sorts of resources linked in my bio. Please feel free to check them out. And do not forget, I do have classes, I do have open discussions, etc., to check in with you all at. And do not forget that this Wednesday marks the first Wednesday of the month. So we are kickstarting Wednesday Wisdom with educators to help you with your deconstruction journey and better understand what's going on in the world today. So as always, oh yes, your birthday. So as always, each one teach one, each one reach one, go out and get into some good trouble, but nothing that takes any bail money, because not in this economy, okay? Okay.